You're standing in the detergent aisle staring at 40 different bottles, and every single one of them promises the cleanest, freshest, most powerful wash of your life. Spoiler alert, they're all lying. Well, most of them, and the ones that aren't lying are just being strategically vague. While you've been trusting labels and sniffing caps at the store, some of these brands have been selling you diluted formulas that independent labs say perform barely better than washing your clothes in plain water. That's not an exaggeration. Consumer Reports has literally measured it. Some of these detergents can't handle dirt. Dirt, the most basic stain in the history of laundry. If your detergent can't remove dirt, it's not a detergent. It's scented water with a marketing budget. So let's talk about 8 laundry detergent brands, ranked from the absolute worst to the one that actually earns its spot on your shelf. Because life's too short to rewash the same load 3 times while a $4 bottle of lies sits on your washing machine looking pretty. Smash that subscribe button because we're about to save you from some seriously overpriced bottles of disappointment. Number 8, True Earth Eco Strips. Saving the planet, one dirty shirt at a time. Let's start with the product that proves good marketing can sell anything. True Earth launched their dissolvable laundry strips as a lightweight, plastic-free, eco-friendly revolution. The pitch is compelling. A thin strip you toss in the drum. No measuring, no plastic jugs, no mess. It's minimalism for your laundry room. It also delivers minimal results. Here's the thing, Consumer Reports tested these strips and found them to be deeply inadequate. Their scores for removing tough stains like body oil, dirt, coffee, and grass were rock bottom. And we're not talking slightly below average. We're talking barely better than water. Most Consumer Report members who reviewed the product said they wouldn't recommend it, which is a polite way of saying it doesn't work. And get this, you're paying around 33 cents a load for this non-performance. That's more expensive than many liquid detergents that actually work. True Earth survives on eco-guilt and Instagram aesthetics. They figured out that a certain type of consumer will pay a premium for packaging that looks good on a bathroom shelf, regardless of whether their clothes are actually clean. You're paying a premium to wash your clothes in good intentions. And good intentions don't remove coffee stains. Neither do thin strips of compressed wishful thinking. Number 7, Sun. Triple clean. 3 times the promise, 0 times the delivery. Sun is a budget brand manufactured by Henkel, the same German company that makes Persil. The number 1 detergent on this list. Let that sink in. Same parent company, wildly different priorities. It's like finding out a Michelin star chef also runs the hot dog cart that gave you food poisoning. Sun earned the lowest overall score of all the dozens of detergents Consumer Reports tested. It struggles with virtually every stain category. Grass fails, dirt barely touches it, coffee and chocolate don't even bother. The price is admittedly low, but when your detergent doesn't actually clean, you end up running the same load 2 or 3 times. Those savings evaporate fast. The real kicker is the name, Triple Clean. That's 3 times the cleaning promise for roughly 0 times the cleaning performance. It exists to fill the absolute bottom shelf at the grocery store and catch the eye of shoppers who are counting every penny. But a cheap detergent that doesn't clean is actually the most expensive detergent you can buy, because you're paying in time, water, and electricity every time you rewash. Triple clean is triple misleading. 1 clean would be generous. Number 6, Xtra. The name is ironic and they don't even know it. Another budget contender that splits opinion right down the middle. Some people find Xtra perfectly acceptable for lightly soiled everyday loads. Others have called it, and I'm quoting a real reviewer here, barely a detergent at all. That's a direct quote. Someone took time out of their day to type that. The formula is thin and watery. Multiple reviewers report that whites come out dingy, and there are reports of clothes gradually turning yellow after months of exclusive use. The scent has also been flagged as off-putting by several consumers. If your laundry challenge is a slightly dusty t-shirt, Xtra might survive the audition. Anything more serious, you're going to be disappointed and possibly yellow. What makes this particularly frustrating is the false economy. You buy Xtra because it's cheap. Then you have to rewash. Then you have to spot treat. Then you end up reaching for the Tide anyway. You'll spend more correcting Xtra's failures than you ever save by buying it. The name says Xtra. The performance says minimum effort. Somewhere in a boardroom, someone named this product with a straight face, and nobody in the room had the courage to object. Number 5. Purex. 9 cents a load and worth every penny? That's not a compliment. And here's Henkel again, the same company that makes Persil, the cleaning champion, and Sun, the cleaning disaster, also makes Purex, sitting right in between on the corporate family tree, leaning hard toward the disaster end. A Purex costs around 9 cents per load, which makes it one of the cheapest detergents on the market. Sounds great until you realize it has a terrible track record removing basic stains like lipstick and coffee. Reviewed.com ranked it second to last in their stain removal testing. One detailed consumer survey described it as a product you should simply skip, not use cautiously, not try if you're on a budget. Skip. If this is already saving you from a bad purchase, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's next. Bottom line, 9 cents a load for a product that doesn't work is in a bargain. It's a donation to Henkel's bottom line, same parent company that puts real R&D into Persil. But for Purex, they seem to have forgotten the active ingredients. When one corporation sells you both the best and worst detergent on the market, that tells you everything you need to know about how these companies view different customer segments. Some customers get the science, the rest get the leftovers. Number 4, Arm & Hammer. Great fridge, terrible washer. Here's a brand that's been in American households for over a century. You've probably got a box of their baking soda in your fridge right now, absorbing odors like a champ. That's what Arm & Hammer does well. Laundry detergent, that's a different story, a worse story. The kind of story where the hero doesn't show up. The power packs in particular are a problem. Consumer Reports found them abysmal at removing dirt and rated them poorly for chocolate and coffee stains. Multiple consumer surveys noted these pods are, quote, not powerful at all. The liquid version, Clean Burst, fares a bit better. Reviewed.com ranked it third in their stain test, but even the liquid left a sharp or aggressive citrus smell on clothes that many testers found unpleasant, and its performance in hard water was weak. So you get mediocre cleaning and your shirts smell like an angry lemon. Arm & Hammer is riding decades of baking soda goodwill into a product category where that goodwill doesn't translate. They're selling you the logo, not the formula. Great for deodorizing your fridge. Mediocre at best for cleaning your clothes. And at worst, you're scrubbing stains out by hand while wondering why you trusted a box of baking soda to do a detergent's job. Number 3, 7th generation free and clear. Your conscience is spotless. Your shirts, debatable. Now we're getting into genuinely good products, with caveats. 7th generation is the gold standard for eco-conscious laundry. Plant-based surfactants, enzyme-assisted cleaning, no dyes, no fragrance, no optical brighteners. EPA Safer Choice certified. Dermatologist tested. If you've got sensitive skin, eczema, or allergies, this is one of the safest picks on any shelf. Your skin will thank you, your grass-stained jeans might not. But here's where it gets tricky. That gentle formula comes with a trade-off. 7th generation is noticeably weaker on heavy soil and tough stains than conventional leaders. Multiple users report needing to pre-treat everything, mud, grass, food spills, before washing, or the stains just sit there. Some forum users have even reported clothes still smelling unwashed after using the recommended dose. That's not a ringing endorsement, and because it skips optical brighteners, your whites won't have that crisp, glowing look that Tide or Persil deliver. They'll be clean, but they won't look clean by conventional standards. 7th generation sells you a clean conscience, not necessarily the cleanest clothes. If your laundry is lightly soiled and your skin is sensitive, it's a genuinely solid pick. But if you've got kids who come home looking like they rolled down a muddy hill, which, let's be honest, they probably did, you're going to need backup. Probably from a detergent that doesn't apologize for having chemicals. And if you're finding this ranking useful, hit the like button. It really helps the channel cut through the noise. Number 2, Gain. Your nose says clean, the lab says otherwise. The second best-selling detergent in the United States, and the reason is simple, that's scent. Gain figured out something the rest of the industry is still catching up to. Most people judge whether their laundry is clean by burying their face in a warm towel and inhaling. If it smells incredible, it must be clean, right? Not exactly. Gain has a 4. 0.8 star rating from nearly 9,000 customers. The odor defense pods feature 3 different fillings. Nearly 90% of reviewers gave 5 stars. The fragrance transfers strongly to every load and hangs around for days. People are obsessed with this scent. It's less of a detergent and more of a cologne with a rinse cycle. The most important part, though, is what the testing labs say. And they say Gain is roughly 10% less effective than Persil at removing stains. It performs adequately for regular loads, your everyday shirts, towels, bedding, but put it up against grass stains, blood, or heavy soil, and it falls behind the top tier. Gain figured out that your nose is easier to fool than a color emitter. It's a brilliant marketing play, and for a lot of people, it works. If your definition of clean is smells amazing, Gain wins. If your definition of clean is actually clean, keep reading, because the gap between smelling good and being good is wider than you think. Number 1, Persil ProClean. The detergent that skipped the ad budget and bought a lab instead. And here it is, the detergent that quietly dominates every independent lab test, while most Americans have never even tried it. Persil has been the best-selling detergent in Europe for decades, with a formula that's been refined since 1907. It only hit US store shelves in 2015, but it immediately started disrupting every ranking it appeared in. No fanfare, no Super Bowl commercial, just results. Reviewed.com found that Persil removed 2% more stains than Tide across all their tests. That might sound small, but compounded over dozens of washes, it means visibly cleaner clothes over time. Consumer reports found Persil outperformed Tide on grass stains by up to 50% in specific tests. It handles body oil, salad dressing, chocolate, and plain dirt with ease. It works well in hard water, and the sensitive skin version is dermatologist tested for people who need that extra assurance. The trade-off? It's more expensive per load than Tide, but here's the consumer math that matters. If a cheaper detergent forces you to rewash or pre-treat, you're spending more in water, electricity, and time. Persil rarely requires a second pass. Persil doesn't flood your TV with commercials or sponsor every sporting event. It doesn't have Tide's cultural footprint. But every independent lab that tests these products puts Persil at or near the top. The data doesn't care about brand awareness. This is the detergent that actually does what every other detergent promises. Think about how much you've spent on detergent over the past 5 years. Now ask yourself how many of those loads actually got clean on the first try. The detergent market is full of products that sell you the idea of clean. The pretty bottles, the strong scents, the words powerful and advanced slapped on labels without delivering actual results. It's an industry built on the assumption that you'll never check. At the bottom, you've got products like True Earth and Sun that barely outperform plain water. In the middle, brands like Arm and Hammer and Gain that coast on brand recognition and fragrance. And at the top, you've got Persil, quietly doing the job while spending less on Super Bowl ads. Stop sniffing caps in the aisle and start looking at what independent labs actually measure. The best detergent is the one that removes stains, not the one with the nicest bottle or the catchiest jingle. Hit subscribe if this changed how you'll shop for detergent, and drop a comment telling us which ranking you think we got wrong.